here as the voice of the community, because all we do on a daily basis here at Philmar Republic is speak to industry leaders in the franchise space, and talking about marketing plans and how they're ever changing amongst franchisees and franchisors. So today's webinar is going to be focused on that, on specifically marketing during COVID for franchise organizations. So if you're not in a franchise organization, that's not a problem. We will be launching, or this has been launched as the first part in our series for emergency marketing. So stay tuned, because we're going to address other lines of business, and we're sharing a lot of great articles and information. And I'll share that afterwards and links in the chat box. So stay tuned. So nice to meet you, first and foremost, despite the circumstances that brought us here. We are thanking you for joining us to learn more about marketing during this crisis. Like I said earlier, my name is Raquel, and I run strategic partnerships. So I am on the front line speaking with clients on a daily basis, all day, every day, on how to help them. So I'm really hoping that this webinar will be helpful for you. And just a quick overview of the agenda about what we can expect together today. The first pillar, transforming the world of business in what feels like a second, becoming the market leader, adjusting your product for whatever your quote unquote product is, communicating your statement and being authentic and vulnerable, and then questions and answers toward the end. And I have opened the chat box for today. So there are a few places where I ask questions that you can feel free to throw into the chat box. If you want to introduce yourself, I would love to virtually meet you. So, feel free to say, hey, where you're from in the chat box, or just interact in general. So without further ado, let's dive in. So the COVID-19 pandemic is a really interesting one, because this has provoked a massive shift in almost every single aspect of our lives around the world. This is not just a regional problem, this is global. And the offline world is becoming a desolate place. This means that businesses can't sell physical goods or services like we were accustomed to. And this in turn has led to a huge economic crisis and is affecting the global community. In the US alone, 3.3 million people have filed for unemployment within the past week. And in China, it has resulted in a 13.5 decrease in industrial production. This is obviously very tragic news, and we definitely want to help you grow in a virtual world, because that's where time is being spent right now. So you can see that 91% of marketers within the UK, as well as 87% in North America, are predicting an increase in use of online services. So I'm sure you can see this in your own daily life. Internet traffic has grown by 50%. Readers are spending more time on news sites now, and that compares to overall visits by 57%. And that is not just the case for, periodicals or news sources or consumers. This is across every aspect. This includes social media, where people are connecting more with their businesses virtually that were previously offline products or goods or services, or connecting with their friends more via FaceTime or different applications. So this is really, what used to seem as just like a tech space is now kind of industry or line of business agnostic. Everyone has really made that switch very quickly out of the need of this current state that we're in. So question for everybody, or we want to see what is your current marketing plan, or if you have one, if you don't, is that why you're here? because, the new way of marketing, it's kind of like the phoenix rising from the ashes, if you will, is going to that online world and selling your offline franchise of affairs. And transformation doesn't only have to be external communication between your franchise and your customers. This can also work internally. We want you to prove the value of your marketing and consistent communication online or virtually to your board, your CEOs or company's colleagues, whatever that may be. So you can share ideas, discuss them, ideas or hypotheses on what you want to do to change your current situation, and suggest ways that you can really do this. So switching your product, for example, if it's like a brick and mortar store to online e-commerce store, or accept orders from your restaurant via a messenger bot, or switch to delivery or takeaway, or advertise specials online via Instagram stories, or really strive for gift card purchases in the meantime. So they're really effective ways to communicate your statement via digital channels. And it's really all about convincing convincing internally within the business that marketing is where you're going to strive, so you have this rebound later. We are actively participating and listening in the IFA, the International Franchise Association webinar series that they're doing, and we understand the state of the franchise world right now. And it's really important that you're being proactive and not reactive to this current state of affairs. And you don't get discouraged, because you want to get ahead. You want to be the first to implement new approaches, especially when your customers are going to be confused. Everyone's at home. You want to show them that you have ideas for new products that will help them. And one of the first ones that I saw with this was one franchise was a fitness one, and they immediately switched to their classes being via Instagram stories or via Zoom. I've seen some yoga studio franchises have, you get invited to almost like a webinar, just like you're invited access today, you're invited access to yoga flows. So a lot, again, industry agnostic technology has become. So there's a lot of ways that your franchise organization can really thrive through this new situation. And then becoming a leader, that is really important internally. CMOs are at the front line, so to speak, right now. So we want you to work directly with your teams, marketing managers, communication specialists, to build that community internally, and to have the employee advocacy and be hands-on. Because again, this is an unprecedented time, and we want you to really be that voice and that beacon of light to really guide them. So with that being said, we know that it is a huge adjustment to do this, to take a typically offline organization or business to online. So the first thing to do is to advocate for the shift internally. We know there may be, internal stakeholders, whoever they may be, that you will have to work with. And this shift it's necessary right now. Again, regardless of your industry, there are different ways that you're able to weather the current situation. And so it's really creating that shift where possible. And we can work with you through that offline afterwards on a one-on-one basis to see how we can do that and brainstorm together. Because you're the only person who has this expertise, within your marketer role. And this is really great because you can brainstorm together with everyone. So you want to set up, ideally, and promote your online mechanism, whether that's a shop or process or whatever your online quote unquote product or shop or offering is. And this would be the really great moment to update the flows, the navigation, to make it easier to promote it. And if you haven't done this, create e-com stores. There's a lot of really easy ways to do this. Instagram is also really, really helpful for anything online and immediate. The next is, as it says here, organized delivery. You want to review what your range of goods or services is, and you can really focus. You don't have to promote everything. You don't have to sell all services. You want to see which ones are the best for the current situation right now, whether that is online delivery or just online in general. For example, one industry that we've seen hit pretty hard in this is beauty. The hair, for example, we have a franchise that was seeing 0 bookings, understandably, for the next month or so. So they set up an online gift card campaign where they're able to pre-book hair appointments, pay via gift card, and now they have revenue coming in still while they are closed down, essentially, and their customers are able to come in the future and use that gift card towards their haircut purchase. So it's really interesting ways to do this. So, similarly, if you're a restaurant, you can review your menu, adjust it to the new conditions, organize door-to-door delivery where it's safe, curbside, minimal contact. And this is really interesting. I know Starbucks did a pre-order launching in China, and this was a really great way for the customers to order delivery. And it was completely contactless. It was ordered within the app. They came to the bar to pick it up, and there was 0 contact with staff, which obviously, as we know, the minimal contact with interpersonal is really important right now. And then in terms of running video tutorials and workshops, this is really helpful if you're, for example, in the fitness industry, or we've actually seen a lot of creative ways of the live video streaming or pre-recorded videos utilized. Like I said earlier, you can stream your workouts. If you're a restaurant, you can stream how to cook like simple meals from home. Or a beauty salon, you can show how to do at-home manicures. One really great thing I've seen on the internet was a hair salon was showing people how to dye their roots at home with something you can buy like a CVS. So right now, you might not be getting the money in from your customers, but what's really important is that you're maintaining that relationship with them, showing your expertise and providing value, so that way they are staying loyal to you, they're staying sticky, and they will come back to you when the time is right. And I know, especially for beauty, because everyone is inside, that's going to have like a boom whenever it is safe for all of us to matriculate back into society. So there's a lot of really creative ways to highlight your expertise, again, despite what industry you're in. Gift cards, as I mentioned, that was, we touched upon that quickly, but I do want to highlight that here because just like I said, in regards to this hair salon, the gift cards are a really great way to supplement income because they might not be available or able to purchase right away, but they can come back later. And this is really helpful and really industry agnostic. This could be haircuts, lunches, trainings, concerts, travel, pretty much anything. So I would highly recommend looking into that. And then providing consultative or coaching-like sessions. This is a really great way, specifically marketing agencies in particular, for you to consider educational and coaching services for your clients to help them, because everyone is a little bit scared about what this current situation means for you, for your business, for your long term. So this will really help show that expertise and help you help them in the long term. So like I said, I wanted to try and make this interactive. So I do have a question here on the screen. So how has the pandemic, or is the pandemic, transforming your current operations? What changes are you making, if any? So you can throw it in the chat box if you have any questions or want to answer. Love to hear what you're doing. All right, moving on. So one thing that I definitely want to highlight is in regards to company statements. I'm sure you have seen 1,000,001 of these in your email inbox, but I cannot stress enough that everybody should be doing this. You want to show, again, your customers that you're there for them, that you empathize. So when changes and restrictions occur so fast, it's really tough to keep up with them. And you want to be that rock for your clients. You want to show them that you know what you're doing, that you're open for them, there for them, in terms of at least communication if you're not physically able to be open. So you want to make social media announcements. This could be things from highlighting your work hours to your shift to remote work to new terms of service. And none of the challenges that are really presented by the current situation should become an obstacle for you being there for your clients. This is that shift to virtual support. So social media can become this platform for you that maybe was there as an afterthought, but now it is in the forefront. We've seen social media usage go up from about 2 to 3 hours a day to 7.5 plus hours a day, which is huge because now everyone has nothing but time to do this, unfortunately. So in the case of if users are searching for your company organically or visit your website, you want to also show them that you're on top of this situation. So this is in terms of bullet number 2 for updates, pop-ups, hello bars, and statement pages. So just so you know, if you're not familiar, a hello bar is just a tool that you can plug in on top of your website. It just pops up with whatever banner almost you are looking for. Because if someone does go to your website, they're searching for you and you want to highlight the amazing service that you're providing despite this, or that you're thinking of them or having them at top of mind. So they need to know where they're able to find this additional information. So pop-ups, sidebars, or directing them to the right pages will attract their attention and help them figure things out concerning their planned interactions with your product, goods, or service. And we've seen most companies launch a COVID-19 statement page where they can gather all relevant information from there. And if you had any travels in the past month or in the coming months, I'm sure you've seen that specifically on airline pages. I had a business trip planned for a conference, and I was in the cancellation phase, and I was on the COVID-19 statement page, and it gave me everything I wanted. Obviously, that's an airline example, but we've seen this a lot across several different franchise organizations, again, industry agnostic, because your customers just want to see the steps you're taking, and it really highlights that you care as a community for them. So one thing that's really important is don't forget to add changes in your work schedule to your relevant social media pages like Google My Business, Yelp, Apple Maps, or Bing Local, Foursquare, etc. That way customers can find current information while they're Googling your store, cafe, or things like that. And I did want to highlight that as of about a couple hours ago, if not less, Google has temporarily removed some of its features for Google My Business as a result of the limitations that they're facing due to COVID-19. And this is because they are, the staff is remote, so some functionality is limited in terms of quality checking, all of this. So they're not going to be publishing any review replies or new questions and answers until further notice. And in turn, the Google My Business support team is going to prioritize reviewing new listings, claims, and verification for critical health-related businesses. So that is really interesting that this development, you can see even from the largest companies down, they're adapting to the current situation. So this means that Google prioritizing critical services, other types of businesses can expect a delay in the publication of new listings, claims, and verifications. And this shows that they'll also prioritize different things for you. But with that being said, the silver lining here is that the listings and keeping all of your information up to date helps you stay and support your business in times like this. So what do I mean by that? So one example is that Yelp is providing $25 million to local restaurant and nightlife businesses that are seeing a massive drop in business or close as a result of this crisis. Or you have, on the other hand, Facebook announced that it's creating a 100 million grant program for small businesses. Applications aren't open yet, but Facebook says that it'll include both ad credits and cash grants that can be spent on operational costs by, for example, like paying workers or paying rent. And this is really an interesting initiative because this is available for up to 30,000 businesses in over 30 countries where Facebook operates. So there are different ways to that we're seeing large companies step in on behalf of local businesses and making these changes in these tough times. But the purpose of all of this is to say that with all of these changes happening almost on a daily basis, now with different regulations coming into effect, with different geographic situations depending where you are, but being digital, being nomadic on digital is really important, and all announcements must be on your social media sites and websites because, at this point, personal communication with your clients can't be left alone. So we want you to be able to send newsletters, show them that you're there, you're ready, and here to help. So I know that was a lot of information, but we have some really great examples to share with you on this. My mouse is freezing. So here, this is a PuroClean franchise, and they launched a new service to handle their current franchise situation. So they've added a pop-up bar at the top to keep their customers informed. And this is a really great example of how they adjusted quickly to the situation and clearly communicated it to their customers. Whereas in the second example, this is Crystal, a food and restaurant chain. They created a special COVID-19 statement page where they're describing their position considering the COVID crisis. And they're communicating the clear changes in their services, which includes the change of working hours, delivery and drive-throughs. So this is just a few examples of different ways to do this. And moving forward, I did want to highlight, because I know we talked about the importance of creating a statement like you see here with Crystal, and one that has been specifically circulating around the marketers' channels is this one by Levi's, the denim company. So this really breaks it down, the key components that you'll need when crafting your own statement, which is this human start. So highlighting that you're there for everyone, a clear and direct message on what you're doing, self-aware, because Levi's is a denim company or a clothing company, and no one really is thinking of clothes right now. So they know, they even say this, we understand shopping for jeans is the last thing on your mind. Then they highlight empathy and end it on another human note. So they're highlighting the community, that your friends, that they understand what you're going through. So this was shared by a lot of marketers widely on LinkedIn. Big companies have adapted better in these environments because they have huge teams to do this. But that doesn't mean that, your smaller franchise organizations aren't able to do this as well. It's easy to sit down and write the letter, especially when you have like a formula like this here. And we can share this with you afterwards if you want to take a look at how to create your best slides and so on. So another question. So if you want to chat in the chat box, I'm keeping an eye on it and seeing some answers go through. I did see one question in regards to answers. So if you can see when you're chatting, if it goes to a panelist, that would mean I just see your answer. If it goes to all panelists and attendees, that goes to everybody in general. So that might be why, but I'm happy to share some tidbits as I get them. So for this question, what channels are you investing in right now to keep in touch with your customers? I think that is the number one question we're getting right now is where do we invest? How do we invest in it? What platforms do we need? What partners do we need? And you're seeing, I know in the chat box, I'm seeing a few switch to work from home or fully virtual, and we have interesting industries participating in today's webinar. And it's really great that you have made those switches, because that is that first hurdle, so to speak. And then comes the planning. So virtual tech is all encompassing. That could be Zoom video software, Skype, Slack chat to keep in touch, or a social media manager or listings, or there's a lot. So we want to see here, what are your go-to tools? Did you invest in something right now just for this current crisis situation, or was virtual planning part of your business already? Again, let us know in the chat and I'll share some answers as we get them. So moving on in regards to social media marketing, because I do see some answers in the chat box that you're encouraging clients to post, or for an example, if you're in marketing or a digital agency, or as a different industries, you're able to translate different parts of the business to digital means. But we want to see what you're doing here. And these are, I think, simple steps in terms of how to be valuable on social media in this time. But we want to really highlight this because, like we said earlier, everyone right now is on social media in some form and spending more time than ever on social. So we want you to think of this as like almost more long-term, if you will. So you want to ask yourself, what can I do so that your clients are coming back to you after the crisis? That's what we mean by long-term. It's how do you retain them after they're paying attention to you right now on digital means. So you want to think of what you can communicate and through what channels are best for your type of business, and how you can set that ground for the eventual rebound to your typical way of doing business. So we really see that social media is the best channel for this. But this can be maybe intimidating because there's so much competition out there. So we want to highlight just quickly the keys to staying relevant and staying valuable and authentic in this. So I want to highlight again, you can't ignore that elephant in the room, that the competition is there. You can see that, but that's almost in your favor because you can see what they're doing. You can see what everyone is more or less posting and highlight how your organization put your twist on this, your branding, and how you can bring value to your customers. So one question I see is right now everyone is faced with closures. For example, the brick and mortars are physically closed. But again, that circles back to exactly what we're talking about right now in terms of social media marketing and how to prove value through this. Your clients or your franchisees might not be social media gurus, but that's why these steps here on the slide or the screen are going to help you to convey the message. So this circles back to what we highlighted a little bit before in the conversation about activities that you can do online to stay present, stay at the foreground, to help people stay relevant. So you want to think also like everyone is facing the same things. Everyone is scared, everyone's tired, everyone's going through almost this Groundhog Day of inside eating, working if they are able to. So essentially bored in isolation, and everyone across the board is craving human contact and relationship. So this is an opportunity for you or your clients or your franchisees to be the one providing that personal connection. So you don't have to be that brand. You don't have to be perfect and polished. You want to have that human touch right now. That's why you've seen that I actually recorded a video highlighting this webinar. That was completely raw me sitting in front of my computer in my kitchen with my old laptop camera and no makeup, because everyone is in that same situation. So you want to highlight the various formats that work for you. People are used to the just photos or content in their feed, but what is really effective right now is dynamic types of social media content. What I mean by that is video, or specifically live video. And this is something, I see this one question in the chat box about like what a restaurant can do. And this is how they can show you behind the scene, kind of pulling that curtain back, being raw, organic, showing, okay, like today we're prepping meals for the community. I saw a really great example of this, which was a restaurant that was putting boxed lunches for kids for free outside in like a cooler that they could just like come up and grab it. And this is on their socials because number one, that shares awareness of what you're doing. Number two, it shows that you're bolstering the community. And even if you're just picking up the phone and showing you're reaching out to the community, now I think more than ever, people feel a sense of calling to support their local X, Y, and Z. So if you're selling clothes, you can run a video tutorial on like fashion, or if you're, like I said, in the restaurant industry, this is so important, and it can just be easy. Just go live. You don't have to have any proper lighting or background. And it's really important to just highlight that something on social is better than nothing, because everyone is sitting where they are. And it's really interesting as a marketer, what you can convince your clients to do, because I see this question here, is to use advertisements on social, to be posting more and consult them how to do this. So it's telling them to do these things, but through a consultative way. And you can help prepare maybe them like a posting schedule, or just things to help them, or a social media 101, how to get them started. So I do see that quite a bit. And we want to help you leverage these types of social media for this. And so I think running ads is a really great way that shouldn't be forgotten in this time, because again, this is the opportune moment to be in front of, or not opportune, that's the wrong word, but the moment where everyone is in front of a lot of people. So I highlighted the Crystal example previously, and I did want to highlight what their social media manager highlighted as their approach, because this is obviously a food and beverage place. So this is highlighting that their approach became sympathetic. It's about the love for marketing, what they're doing, and the plan, and letting them know that they're there even for the drive-through. So they themselves are investing time into Facebook and highlighting, this is, I think, a really understated importance about highlighting the cleanliness. Everyone's question right now is all about what to do in terms of cleaning. What are you cleaning? Like, I want to feel clean. I want to go somewhere and know that I'm clean and I don't have to worry about any germs. So I think this is a really great statement on their actions and how to do this. So that's a great approach, and we implore you to kind of work through similar means. So other industries that are highlighting this, you can see Anytime Fitness franchise has launched online workouts, and they invite their subscribers to join. And this is a great example of the transformation from offline to online, and communication and spreading the word through social media. And then on the right-hand side, we have Big From Customs, which is a retailer, invites their subscribers to help local businesses in order delivery in any way. So again, this is about that sense of community and personalization that you can get. So it doesn't have to be your brand. We understand that like this next period, the sales might go down, but it's the importance of your voice, what you're doing with it, and your expertise in whatever industry it may be that will really help you face that customer retention at the end of that bounce back. Just some more examples. You can see that real estate franchises, because I know we have a real estate participant here. This was a really interesting one that I saw, are launching virtual tours to keep their business going, because that people are still interested in their housing situation and for going that. You know, I, for one, can personally speak to this because I was supposed to move and was in the process of moving when this strike. So I was.
What's going on?
And while we're thinking on the ideas, what you're doing, how your franchisees are helping, it's really simple and really important to share what these changes look like. It's not enough because we see complete industries in a pause or they might be in a panic, but they want to look for you for guidance as the franchisor, so then that you have the plan or are planning a plan how to get out of this. So you can share a webinar, for example. We'll share the link afterwards. You can dive into this. You can offer them resources. You can be really transparent with the steps. And we want to underscore that flexibility is going to be really important. So you may need to highlight that you have a plan B, but this is really more about staying in touch and staying personal with them. So we definitely see this change from the top down in any organization, and it may be difficult, but again, we're here to help in any way we can in terms of plans and along that nature. So to kind of summarize what we discussed here today, we have this emergency marketing checklist that you can take a screenshot of or share as well. So we want to prove yourselves as leaders in the industry. I know you asked a lot of really interesting questions, but it's about gathering the information, which you're doing now, synthesizing it, and reacting on it. And the second point is transforming as much as possible online and coming up with creative ideas for industries that may be on a pause right now, or ways to be online and active with the users that are increasing on a daily, the online usage. Communicating your company statements, being your voice in your community, and being really empathetic, because we obviously understand your business or your client's business may be in chaos right now, but by having a statement shows that you are caring, proactive, and obviously understand the severity of the situation that we're in. And what is, I think, the main takeaway is the relationships that you're able to maintain with your clients and develop in a new form or medium via social media marketing. And there's a lot of really easy ways to do this. I've seen some interesting ideas shared in the chat box with each other as well. So I would say definitely keep that up, if not increase the frequency, and yes, continue via Facebook ads, and share knowledge internally in your team at the head office or downline to your franchisees and employees overall. So that is it from me. We do have some really helpful resources. Like I said earlier in today's call, we are launching a emergency marketing center where it's going to be a compilation of industry pieces. We'll have our webinars there, just anything you want to do or share in regards to this right now. So I've shared all of these links that you see on the screen in front of you in the chat box. So we are here for you. And because we did see actually a lot of questions today in regards to ads specifically, let me know in the chat box if you want a webinar all about ads and advertising and what that looks like in this current crisis as well, because we'd be happy to put that together. Or if you have any other webinar ideas that you want to see from us, let me know. You can do it in the chat box, or you can contact us at hello@promorepublic.com. And if you have any questions in regards to how can I get started on social, like Maria said, it's about being social and being there for your community. So if you need a partner
we're here to help. We're really flexible. We have different ways that we can help you right now and worry about logistics later. So please don't be shy. Reach out to us. We're here to help in absolutely any way we can, whatever that case may be for you. So again, contact hello@PromoRepublic. We'll be here to help. And thank you for taking the time. We know that this is a very interesting situation that we're in, and we understand the severity of it. And that's why we want to be your right-hand resource for you and your social media marketing needs, or even your clients' social media marketing needs. So definitely take a look at the Emergency Marketing Center. We're here to help. So thank you again. And if you have any questions, you know where to find me. Thank you all for joining in.